court in Nigeria has sentenced 4 men to death for attacking a church in the southwestern Ondo state in 2022 in a case which sent shockwaves across the nation. 41 worshippers were killed and more than 100 others injured when they opened fire at the St. Francis Catholic Church in the town of Owo during a Pentecost service.
The California governor's race remains up in the air a day after the primary vote, with British-American former TV host Steve Hilton and on-time Biden cabinet secretary Xavier Becerra at the top of a crowded field. The contest could take several days to decide due to the volume of postal ballots cast on Tuesday to pick the top 2 candidates for November's general election.
The death of a white student who was handcuffed by police after he had been stabbed is provoking a national outcry in Britain, with officers under fire for their conduct and far-right leaders accused of using the teen's murder to stoke racist violence for political gain. Earlier, on Tuesday evening, that outcry spilled into clashes when hundreds of demonstrators gathered outside a police station in the southern English coastal city of Southampton, where they were stirred up by far-right activists and clashed with riot police, throwing bricks and other projectiles, injuring 11 officers.
Agents with the Federal Bureau of Investigation's FBI in the United States have fatally shot a man allegedly holding hostages inside of a building in California. The shooting ended a 12-hour standoff at an office in Bakersfield that houses a bank branch and school district office.
Fast-growing Ebola outbreak in the Democratic Republic of the Congo has crossed borders, raising alarms far beyond Central Africa. This time, the virus is a strain with no approved vaccine or treatment. As cases rise and governments scramble to respond, can the outbreak be contained before it spreads further? In this episode,
Turkish Foreign Minister Hakan Fidan and Indonesian President Prabowo Subianto have held an extremely productive meeting in Jakarta as the two countries aim to reach a bilateral trade volume target of $10 BN. According to Turkey's top diplomat, the two sides discussed expanding cooperation across a range of sectors, including defence, energy, transportation and the halal food industry, Fidan said on X on Wednesday.
British Home Secretary Shabana Mahmood has condemned as completely unacceptable violent, racially charged demonstrations over the case of an 18-year-old student who was handcuffed by police as he lay dying, falsely claimed to be a victim of a racist attack. The riots on Tuesday were spurred by claims that the United Kingdom has two-tier justice that disadvantages white people. By visors.
Football's biggest tournament returns as the FIFA World Cup 2026 unfolds across 3 countries. The United States, Mexico and Canada will host matches from June 11 to July 19, with an expanded pool of 48 teams fighting to be crowned world champions.
Suno, the AI music generation company, announced on Wednesday that it has raised a $400 million Series D round, valuing the company at $5.4 billion. It was only about 7 months ago that Suno raised at a $2.45 billion valuation, underscoring that investors are confident in the company's future despite the litigation it faces. That legal trouble isn't minor. As Suno itself has admitted, the company trains its AI on copyrighted songs. The company argues that this is permissible according to fair use, a legal doctrine that allows limited use of copyrighted material without permission, but one that is highly fact-specific and can vary widely from case to case. Copyright holders like Universal Music Group, UMG, Sony, and German music collection organisation GEMA have continued to pursue legal action against Suno, though Warner Music Group, WMG, settled and reached a licensing deal with the company last November.
What may be one of the more questionable uses of AI to date, Amazon announced on Wednesday that it will display AI-generated images of products within its shopping app based on users' search queries. That's right, a retailer where people shop for real-world products thinks that displaying fake photos will help consumers better find what they're looking for. Enough already.
PPP chairman Bilawal Bhutto Zardari on Wednesday vowed to address resettlement concerns of those affected by the construction of the Diama Basha Dam on an immediate basis. If his party emerges victorious in the June 7 polls, Bilawal made the declaration while addressing a rally in Diama, as the PPP and other political parties have, over the past few days, ramped up efforts to garner support ahead of the polls.
British multinational Shell continued operating a major oil pipeline in Nigeria for years, even though it knew it was causing widespread pollution. Despite a warning from its own staff and its own technical standards, internal documents obtained by the BBC show, the files, including emails and presentations, reveal that a senior Shell executive cautioned as early as 2008 about the risks of continuing to pump millions of barrels of unrefined fuel through one of the company's main pipelines in Africa's biggest oil producer, while it was subject to massive and destructive uncontrolled theft and infrastructure failures.
Candidate hoping to run for governor in the US state of Iowa has lost a closely watched primary contest. Despite getting the backing of Donald Trump Randy Feenstra, who was seen by many as a frontrunner, conceded the race on Tuesday, having received a last-minute presidential endorsement ahead of the vote.
Forwards Lamine Yamal and Nico Williams should be fit for Spain's World Cup opener. Coach Luis de la Fuente has said Yamal and Williams both missed the end of the club season due to hamstring injuries, but de la Fuente included them in his World Cup squad anyway, telling reporters last month he expected both to be fit for the global showpiece.
United States President Donald Trump has appointed businessman and federal housing regulator Bill Pulte as acting director of National Intelligence, DNI. Trump made Tuesday's surprise announcement on social media that Pulte would replace Tulsi Gabbard, the former Hawaii congresswoman who has served as the director of National Intelligence until recently.
Aryna Sabalenka's bid for a first French Open title has been left in tatters after she fell apart in a bizarre defeat by Russian 25th seed Diana Schneider in the quarterfinals. The world number one led by a set and a double break before exiting the tournament on Wednesday in a blaze of unforced errors, collapsing to a 3-6, 7-5, 6-0 loss in blustery conditions on Court Philippe Chatrier.
Helicopter crash in northwestern England has killed 3 British naval crew, according to the UK Ministry of Defence. The crash occurred about 4:01 a.m., 3 GMT on Wednesday during a helicopter training exercise near the village of Sowerton in the county of Devon, a Royal Navy spokesperson said.
The UK has just imposed legal guardrails on Google's AI search onslaught. On Wednesday, Google announced compliance with the UK's regulatory requirements, which state that the tech giant must offer publishers a way to opt of aggregated into AI search. To opt out, publishers will be able to use a new toggle in Google's Search Console, a free service that allows website owners to manage their web presence in Google's search results. Developer platform GitLab has laid off about 14% of its workforce, about 350 employees, as part of a broader restructuring effort it detailed last month. The company said in May that it was going to reduce its workforce as it exited 22 countries, flattened management layers, and invested in infrastructure to scale its platform and serve increased traffic from reset and develop layers, with a sharper focus on research and development.
Customer support and service are among the hottest sectors in voice AI right now. Building a product that sounds human and responds without noticeable delay turns out to be much harder in some markets than others. And most of the major players weren't built with Africa and the Middle East in mind. Athex AI, a startup founded last year to close that gap, has raised $3 million in pre-seed funding led by 4DX Ventures, with participation from Enza Capital, Dorm Room Fund, Mojo Ventures, and Stanford GSB 26 Fund. Individual investors include Stanford faculty, telecom executives, and AI researchers from Anthropic.
Alphabet plans to raise $80 billion through equity offerings as it increases spending on AI infrastructure and global compute capacity. The company plans to use the funding for general corporate purposes, including capital expenditures to scale AI infrastructure and compute. Part of the proceeds from the market offering will also support an employee equity change related to tax obligations from employee equity awards.
Pakistan's National Cyber Emergency Response Team has launched a cybersecurity internship program to help prepare skilled professionals for the protection of the country's cyberspace. The internship program is open to students and recent graduates who are interested in building a career in cybersecurity. The internship will run for 6 weeks and will provide practical training under the guidance of experienced cybersecurity professionals.
A fake UAE work visa scam has been exposed at Jinnah International Airport in Karachi, where a passenger was offloaded while attempting to travel to Dubai on forged documents. The action was taken by FEA Immigration Karachi during checks at the airport, leading to the passenger's detention for further investigation.
Google has announced fake call detection for the phone by Google app, adding a new protection against impersonation scams that use spoofed phone numbers and AI-generated voice deepfakes. The feature is designed to warn users when a call appears to come from a known contact, but does not include the required verification signal from that contact's actual phone.
A new medicine being tested in Japan could one day help humans grow missing teeth again, offering a possible future alternative to dentures and dental implants. Kyoto University Hospital has launched the first human trial of an experimental drug called TRG-035. The medicine has been developed by Japanese biotech startup Torigem Biopharma and is designed to unlock what researchers describe as a hidden third set of teeth. The bus lurched to a halt on the long, dry highway that takes you from Gwadar to Turbat. A clutch of men jumped out and sprinted towards the makeshift bathroom by the road. Some of them scattered into the bushes. Back in the bus, anchored to their seats, women stared out of the windows stiffly. They must have done the math before boarding. Drink enough water to bear the heat, but not so much that you need to empty your bladder. Gwadar to Turbat is a short 2 hours. But it is 8 long ones if you are heading to Karachi. Israel's hardline finance minister announced on Wednesday a major expansion by more than 2,000 homes of 3 Jewish settlements in the occupied West Bank that Palestinians hope will be part of a future independent state. Most nations consider Israeli settlements there to be illegal under international law and a major obstacle to a 2-state solution for long-term peace. Jean-Yves Le Drian, France's special envoy for Lebanon, is to arrive in Beirut on Wednesday as Paris seeks to restore its flagging diplomatic role in the country. Experts say when the former French foreign minister meets President Joseph Aoun, Parliament Speaker Nabih Berri and Prime Minister Nawaf Salam, talks are expected to focus on continued aid for communities badly affected by Lebanon's economic collapse, Israel's invasion and occupation of 1/5 of the country, and the future of the United Nations peacekeeping force in southern Lebanon, which France is deeply involved in and whose mandate is due to end this year.
The Democratic Republic of the Congo, DRC, are willing to play their pre-World Cup friendly with Chile behind closed doors. Their head coach, Sebastien Desabre, says the 49-year-old Frenchman made the offer after the mayor of the Spanish town, due to host the match, cancelled it on Tuesday over health concerns regarding the Ebola outbreak in the African country.
Iran's delegation will depart for their World Cup base camp Mexico on Saturday, despite the ongoing ambiguity over their visas for the United States less than 2 weeks before their opening game. The Iran national football team will depart
Antalya for Tijuana at 15:20, 1:12:20 GMT on Saturday, June 6, and is scheduled to arrive in Mexico at 1:30 UN7. The team's official social media account
announced on Wednesday.